Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at the 2024 52+Joker Club deck from designer Elettra Deganello. In 1985, collectors Phil Bullhagen, Bob Harrison, and Lenny Schneier banded together to form 52+Joker, a club for card enthusiasts to share their passion. Now, this was before the boom of modern playing cards that so many of us have grown to love, so many of the early members were focused around antique and vintage decks. The small club grew steadily, hosting its first convention in Cincinnati in 1987. Over time, and as the playing card scene has changed with the introduction of a host of modern designers and collectors, so too has the club evolved. Today, the club boasts over 1,000 members and a mission to bring together collectors of all stripes. The 52+Joker convention continues as an annual tradition, and this year was actually my first ever attending the event. I have to say, it was beyond anything I ever could have expected. In between watching a host of panels and speakers sharing their collecting journey, I also had a chance to geek out with fellow collectors from across the spectrum. The group included everything from designers like Mark Stutzman and Jackson Robinson to well-known producers like Jamie Morrison of Curio Playing Cards and Chris Hage from Wondercraft. But it was the small conversations with collectors that were the most memorable for me. It didn't matter whether someone was into cardistry or magic, antique cards or modern, there were shared stories of collecting passion all over the place. And this year was made all the more special as I got to meet the one and only Judy Dawson, the so-called club queen who was attending for her very last time. Judy's a longtime collector who, along with her late husband Tom, were instrumental in the growth of 52+Joker. Her energy, passion, quick wit, and extensive playing card knowledge have done more for the playing card community than pretty much anyone anywhere. And much of the convention this year was a well-deserved tribute to her and her impact on the community. I felt privileged just to have gotten the chance to meet her even briefly. It was a truly energizing experience and the truest embodiment of a club that seeks to celebrate the entire gamut of playing cards. So kudos to the faithful club president, Lee Asher, whose vision helped grow the club to where it is today. And if you've listened this far, I can't say this loudly enough. Join the club, engage in the community, and come join us next year for the convention. Now, each year, one of the highlights of the event is the live reveal of the latest edition of the annual club deck. The group has, for the past decade, worked with a number of talented artists, from Randy Butterfield to Lautrec, from Usi to Lorenzo Gagliotti. 10 different artists prior to this year have put their own unique spin on the deck to celebrate another year of 52+Joker. In 2024, though, it was Elettra Deganello's turn to step up to the plate with her own take. Elettra is one of the most talented playing card artists working today, and her previous work includes some of my personal favorite decks anywhere, like Pinocchio and Metallark's Prescription Almanac. So I was already excited to get a hold of her version of the club deck, but I have to say, this one absolutely blew me away as I started pouring into it. So let's check out the 2024 52+Joker club deck from Elettra Deganello. Now, Elettra wanted this deck to be an homage to the history of playing cards. In her early research, she came across an entry in the Hockman Encyclopedia by Tom and Judy Dawson, classified simply as AD1. It was an old design by the legendary early card maker Andrew Doherty. It was originally produced around 1850, and the quirky style quickly became the central inspiration for the club deck. And so in this one, you'll see a lot of the elements of that original design, as well as some other contemporaries like Samuel Hart. And it all starts out with this astounding tuck wrap, produced by Boshciero and Newton, the Italian printers who have made some of the most beautiful tuck boxes anywhere. In my opinion, the best tuck printers that you can find anywhere today. It's printed on this high-quality German cotton stock and features some of the same impeccable printing and foiling that Boshciero and Newton have become so well known for. The design you see on here is borrowing from Andrew Doherty, some of his most classic designs. He uses this eagle perched across the seal here as his ace of spades, one of his most prominent design features. And that's what you see here, the beautifully engraved eagle there at the top, the laurels around the side here with the roses at the bottom, and then the emblem in the center here with the spade pit. Of course, the banner at the top has the 52+Joker, and at the bottom, in script there, Club Deck, and then in the center, you've got Niagara Falls, New York 2024. So of course, the convention was held at Niagara Falls. But beautiful mixture of that delicate blue ink, the lines on this one, and then that super shiny, smooth gold foil. On the sides there, you get 52+Joker Club Deck on both sides. Some ad copy on the bottom, of course, designed by Elettra Deganello. As I mentioned, the tuck wrap made in Italy by Boshciero and Newton, and then the cards were printed by Legends. And then the top here, a few extra little embellishments, including some little hits of gold foil. And then the back here has kind of this quilted pattern that we'll see repeated again as the back design of the cards. See, of course, because I was there for the live reveal, I was able to get Elettra to sign my deck. If you pick these up separately, they may or may not be signed. But then it's finished out with this tuck seal here, done in red and white, complete with the 52+Joker, and a little preview of the style we can expect to see with the court cards inside. But the most unique part of this design is the fact that it's a wrap rather than a classic tuck box. So this one's inspired by some of the antique decks that tended to use paper wrappers instead of tuck boxes that we know today. So Elettra worked with fellow designer Maurizio Taccafonde to sketch out a design for a wrap that could be unfolded to reveal the cards inside. So to get at this one, rather than the typical tuck at the top, you unfold it. So you can pull this tab out here and the entire thing unfolds to reveal the cards inside. It's such a unique design and a beautiful piece of art in and of itself. But you can see the inside here kind of has an inverted color version of that pattern we saw on the outside, the beautiful blue interior printing, and even has a little card here that tells you a little bit about the club and the inspirations behind the deck, including Doherty's contributions to playing cards. Just such a cool and unique piece here, and one that Elettra completely designed from the ground up. You can see here on the inside, we'll look at the 52+Joker, kind of a back design style here with the gold foil peeking its way on the inside. But such a unique tuck wrap and a beautiful and historically inspired addition to the deck overall. But let's get into the cards. And we'll start here with the back design, done completely in foil. Beautiful, super shiny gold foil. This is actually done on a smooth texture. You can see here, there's none of the air cushion texture or anything like that on here. Completely smooth design to this one, but it just allows that foil to shine so brightly. And the design you see here, that quilted pattern, is very much inspired by the back design of the original Andrew Doherty cards. Beautiful look to it overall. Of course, the Andrew Doherty cards didn't have this foil, but part of kind of a theme that we'll see throughout the deck of the old meets new. So older inspiration, bringing in newer print techniques. Beautiful look to it overall. And despite the smooth finish, I got to say this one handles absolutely beautifully. Super smooth finish. So kudos to Legends for a really unique and yet still beautifully handling finish. All right, on to the faces. So you only get one extra card in this one, the Joker here. And this one has the reds, yellows, and blues, so kind of classic playing card colors, and then accented with gold outlines. Beautiful, shiny foil on this one, just really nicely done. And of course, the main image here is that Joker seated in the moon, the 52+Joker logo. We got 52+Joker at the top, and then mentions Legends and Elettra Deganello at the bottom. By the way, ironically, this one includes only one Joker, so that makes this the first club deck ever that actually has 52 cards plus a Joker. First time they've ever done that. There's always more extra cards, so expert had to do a special dispensation to make sure there was only one extra card in this one. But kind of a cool extra little touch. So there's your extra card. The Ace of Spades on this one, beautifully done. Again, inspired by Andrew Doherty's classic design with the eagle perch across the seal here. Very similar to what we saw on the tuck wrap, but this one with the much brighter, more vibrant colors, the yellows, blues, and reds. And then of course, heavy use of the accenting with that super shiny gold foil. Gives it just such an elegant, both modern and yet vintage at the same time feel to this one. But beautiful looking Ace of Spades. Really makes me want to go chase down one of Andrew Doherty's original decks so that I can have one of those Ace of Spades to go along with it. The number cards in this one are unique and kind of in keeping with period decks of the time, which didn't typically feature the indices in the corner. So you'll see all of these, just the pips, no index in the corner, beautiful blue color, and then some of the pips are going to be accented with that little hit of gold foil. So you get that gold foil on one or two pips on all of the cards as well. But beautiful, kind of, again, vintage look to them, but that gold foil really kind of brings that modern aesthetic in nicely. So blue for the traditionally black cards, and then the nice red for the red cards, a bright, almost orangish red for the red cards. So there's all of your diamonds, and then into the clubs. Of course, you can see from the aces, only the ace of spades is the one power ace. And then there's your hearts. So love the look of these. I really, really like the accents of the couple of pips there in the middle. I think it just gives it a unique feel. And I don't know, you may have seen me mention this on previous reviews, but I love the addition of some of the pips, the sort of asymmetrical pips, with some of them being a little bit different from the others. So there are all your number cards. And then we get onto the courts. And these, once again, are going to be really heavily inspired by that AD1 deck from Andrew Doherty. It's a beautiful deck in its own right, but the court cards definitely have that sort of vintage hand-drawn look. So Elettra wanted to borrow on that, but then bring them into the 21st century with her own aesthetic. So the court cards on these are just like the original, one-way court cards. You get the full body. I love that look. I love one-way traditional court cards. I think this has such a unique pose to them. But the faces and all of the clothing have been kind of cleaned up with very clean modern lines, and just like everything in the deck, accented with that beautiful gold foil to give it an extra shine as you turn it into light. The faces on these are beautifully redrawn, and everything otherwise, though, other than the art style, is definitely kept very true to the original. So you can see here on the King of Spades with that scepter in his hand, just like he had in the original. Beautiful tribute to the antique decks, while at the same time giving it her own spin. I think this is just a brilliant deck through and through, with some absolutely beautiful courts on this one. Love the artwork, love the inspiration, and just the style that Elettra was able to bring all the way through this one. It's definitely an inspired deck, and one that a lot of work went into, despite the apparent simplicity of the whole thing. It takes a lot to do something even this simple, this well. But beautiful artwork all the way through, and just a fantastic tribute to the history of playing cards. You know, for me, it was a club deck that not just artistically, but thematically knocked it out of the park. For a club that seeks to celebrate the mixture of older and newer collectors of antique cards, some of them dating back hundreds of years, to those collecting cards that are being drawn by masters of the art today. It was really just a great way to kind of bring all of that together in one deck. There have been so many fantastic 52+Joker decks over the years. In particular, I remember Randy Butterfield's is just a masterpiece. Lorenzo has one of the most famous ones from a couple of years ago as well. So many great artists have put their spin on it. I really can't say anything bad about any of them, but even amongst those distinguished artists, Elettra's deck, for me, stands above all of them. So kudos to Elettra, kudos to Boshciero and Newton for their work on the tuck box, and Expert for their work on the cards themselves. Just through and through, amazing execution of a truly inspired design. So can't say enough about this deck. And of course, I'll put in one more plug. Can't say enough about the 52+Joker Club in general. So definitely consider joining if you're not already a member. I'll put a link down in the description for the club's webpage where you can go sign up. Lots of benefits throughout the year. Things like their card culture magazine, Clear the Decks, so you'll get a quarterly physical magazine. You get access to auctions, and of course access to the club deck and the ability to come out to the convention. And whether you're a member or not, definitely consider coming out to the convention next year. The location hasn't been decided, but about a year from now, you'll have the chance to join us. I will, without a doubt, be there, and I will hope to see you there too. So anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this look at the 2024 52+Joker Club deck from Elettra Deganello. That's all for me for now, and let me know what other decks you want to see in the future. And I'll see you for the next one.